My name is Carlos Warter, and I have been considered a contribution in the field of self-determination. What do I mean by this? Many people ask, how can I have that life that I want? My answer is very simple. First, you have the life that you want, but I don't like it. Then you need to own up, take responsibility. And that starts with a willingness, with an act of will, to assume that you are source, cause, origin of whatever you feel, you are, you do, and you have. But that's impossible, says somebody. I don't like my life. I'm full of suffering, I'm full of pain. Buddhist teachings say that if we do not know the nature of reality, this life is full of suffering. And it is not the fault of others, nor of yourself. Since when we live in a world of not knowing, in a world of ignorance, situations create effects, and these effects create new effects, and it is a wheel that is called the wheel of karma, or the wheel of repetition of situations that are unwanted triggers for the suffering and pain that we experience. When I take responsibility for the fact that I am at cause, then there is no one else to blame. And you could think, can you blame yourself? You could, but it's not practical, because blame and shame and guilt do not contribute to alleviating the suffering and the pain. On the contrary, they stabilize it and anchor it in reasons why we might not be happy. So how do we create a life that is really happy, which is what we are pursuing? First of all, we need to have well-being. And well-being is, as it says, a holistic notion of feeling that it's all okay as it is. And from there, we get the opportunity of observing what it is that I want and what it is that I don't want. A crude analysis of our reality, a sincere analysis, not a cocktail party appearance reality, but a looking clearly at what brought up what I'm experiencing today. And there we go in a observation healing mode. We look at our history, at our patterns, at our behaviors, at our circumstance, and how all of this contributes without even consulting our conscious self to the reality that we experience. And here comes a very elemental process of de-identification, unidentifying with everything: race, creed, color, religion, circumstance, sexual orientation, civil status, and you name it. De-identifying is understanding that we have all these situations, feelings, sensation, memories, but we are not that. It is part of our collection, and therefore there is a space in between that allows you to take apart the circumstances so that we can softly alleviate ourselves from carrying a baggage, from carrying a burden which is placed without our permission. For that, we use any technique: psychological techniques, meditative techniques, yoga, tai chi, gestalt therapy, dynamic, interactive, holistic. It's the base of a pyramid that I call the Pyramid of Healing. It is published in a book called Who Do You Think You Are, which is in now 9 languages. So you can look at it personally and use it as a model to freeing yourself. Once you use all these techniques, emergence of responsibility takes place. Remember, it is not guilt or shame. It is not at fault. It is causation. I did it. And take it for a try. I created this relationship in work. I created this relationship in marriage. Who else had anything to do to start it, to operate it, or to transform it, to generate it, operate it, or destroy it? We do. Nobody else does it for us. Nobody else breathes for you. Nobody else dreams for you. So when we take this distance, we go into a place that this responsibility becomes superseded by the technology that we call of forgiveness and self-esteem. Once we acknowledge that we are source, then we can forgive ourselves for, I would say, errors in judgment or errors in behavior. And once we forgive ourselves and repair in the world what has happened, very important, in Kabbalistic tradition, we call it tikkun hanefesh and tikkun olam, the betterment of my soul and the betterment of the world. So the repair needs to take place, and then I can merge with a higher identity, an interim higher identity of who I am, which is simply I am, without a surname. I am a being. And when the vibration of our inner self begins to permeate our mind and body, we reach a place of tranquility first, serenity after, and peace at the end. And this peace is really a peace that surpasses understanding, because it's the activation of a state of consciousness which allows us to transit in this world and beyond. And finally, all this I am has to do is to merge in the experience of love, which is actually, after 50 years of doing this work, pretty easy to facilitate in you. Thank you very much.